How do you know you are living in a toxic relationship? Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another Family Talk Live with the Dookies. We're so happy to be back with you this Monday, and today we have a rather interesting topic. How do you know when you're living in a toxic relationship? I think this is a very serious one.
It is because oftentimes I give you a funny thing. I remember most of our viewers are aware that I'm from Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember speaking with someone way back then. And this person said to me, you know what? I know he loves me because he physically abused me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm using very technical term, physically abused. I
Yes.
wouldn't know how she have said it, but
Yes.
that's the how she expressed it. I know he loves me because he physically abused me and he gives
Yes.
me the attention.
Yes.
So again, how do you know when you're in a toxic
So
relationship?
that is what we're going to be talking about today. How do you know when you're living in a toxic relationship? I'm Sunny Dookie, and this is Courtney Dookie, and we are your marriage and parenting coaches. Our desire is to add value to you and your family and help you to heal, to restore, and to be strengthened and live a happy life.
Life. That's the whole purpose, is that
Yes.
couples and parents and can live fulfilled and satisfied
Yes.
lives on earth,
Yes.
but also as we get ready for the kingdom
Yes.
to come.
So we want to hear from you. We want to hear what you think. Do you know when someone is living in a toxic relationship, or is this something that you've experienced before? And how did you know when that was it? It was time. So for our viewers who are just joining us, hello, hi Cavell, thanks for joining us, and we appreciate you being here. Share with us, how do you know that you're living, or how do you know when a relationship has become toxic? So today we're going to outline just a few of those things, and then we're going to briefly talk about what we can do to reverse that, and as well as talk about our special program that we have. We're open the doors now. So we want to tell you more about that, and also a free something free that we're giving. We're always giving. So as usual, we got something. We got you coming up on Sunday. So you don't want to leave. You want to hear more about that. All right, Dr. Dookie, how do we know we're living in a toxic relationship?
Well, one of the key signs that there are four things we tend to say. There are four challenges in relationship, but relationship become toxic when every conversation you're having
Yeah.
is turned into anger and aggression and verbal, physical, and emotional abuse. That's there's some challenges in
Yeah.
the relationship, right? And I use the word toxic, not that the relationship needs to end.
Right.
It means that there are some changes
Yeah.
that needs to happen, some
Mhm.
change that need to happen in the relationship. So
Yeah.
the word toxic is very strong.
Yeah.
It's different from, let me define things. It's different when a person live in an extreme abusive relationship in which they need to leave that relationship potentially, unless the other person gets help.
Yeah, and
with
that's
that.
in extreme cases
In extreme
of
cases.
a toxic relationship,
Yes.
when it's physically, emotionally, and every other abusive. That you're in danger, and
Right.
your little ones are vulnerable as well.
Yes. Apart from that, we know we're living a toxic relationship again when every conversation turns to conflict.
Yeah.
When we don't know how to speak with each other, we don't know how to communicate our feelings and our needs with each other. We talk about the idea of contempt. A toxic relationship when there's contempt.
Yeah.
And what contempt is, by definition, is me thinking I'm better than you. So I'll say things like this to you. Now, how can you not get that? Are you that? And then I'll go into criticism now. Are you that stupid that you can't get this? It is a simple thing. All I'm asking you to do is to do this. You
Right.
can't get that. So I'm speaking down to you.
Yeah.
And we refer to that as contempt.
Yes.
And if you're in a relationship where the environment is very contemptuous between you, between you and your partner, you know that there's some toxicity
Yeah.
in this.
Yes.
That leads to the second thing I just mentioned, criticism, where everything you do in the relationship is being criticized.
Yeah.
You know, you're not good enough. You don't cook properly. You don't keep the house. So that's when, again, another sign
Mhm.
that there are challenges in the relationship that needs to
Yeah.
be addressed. So
If
again,
you find that you have to be walking on
eggshell.
eggshells because everything you do is an offense to the other person, husband or wife, whoever that person is, that's when you know that the relationship has gone toxic.
Toxic. Other thing is when um, one partner uses certain things against the other partner. A common one is either, and this goes both ways when it comes to sex, right? You know, you won't get sex unless you do A,
Yes.
B, C,
Yeah.
and D.
Holding.
I'm holding that.
Yes.
And that's on both sides, where the husband will say, you know, I'm not connecting with you, I'm not doing anything with you until I get this,
Mhm.
or the vice versa.
Yeah.
Right. So these are different ways where toxic patterns
Mhm.
are developed in the relationship, because one, two people get married, they start to get to know each other.
Yeah.
And by getting to know each other, you know what makes the other person tick, what makes them happy, what makes them sad. But then one partner start to deliberately do things that triggers a sadness or frustration in them.
And you
That's
know
when you know
what?
that you've been in the toxic side of the
And you
relationship.
know what? Sometimes because the toxicity has been going on for so long, we don't even realize that we're doing it
Doing it,
anymore. It
yes.
just becomes like a lifestyle. Like
Yes.
that's just how our relationship is, and you know, that's, I don't see it's gonna get better. But you know, it's time to wake up and realize that marriage does not have to be like that. And you know, the moment you start thinking about marriage in a very negative light and saying that it's a trap, or talking down or talking bad to other people who are going to get married or who speak positively about marriage, that's the time to really think in yourself to say, what is going on in my own marriage or my relationship? Why I'm speaking to others that way?
Yes.
That's the time to really wake up. So if you find that you're constantly unhappy in your relationship, and when you see other couples being happy, it's almost feeling that envy. As if, you know, either they're pretending, or I wish I had that, you know. And that's the time when we realize that we're in a toxic situation, and something needs to be done about it.
The other thing, a common, I guess I'll call it layman term,
Yeah.
is if you're in a relationship where there's constant gaslighting,
Yes.
where you talk about something and it's turned back
Yeah.
on you, and you
I said that.
yeah,
Yes, you said that.
yeah, you said, no, I didn't say that. This is how I say it. But you know
Yeah.
what was said.
Yeah. You're
Again,
second guessing yourself, and
right.
yeah.
The layman term is gaslighting, they use for that. So when those things start to happen in your relationship, then you start to know, man, am I not toxic? Again, I'm saying toxic. Toxic doesn't mean you can't fix, because it means that these things can be addressed, dealt with, and we can work through them.
Yeah.
But I know we're using this word toxic, and it's a very strong word.
Yeah.
But if you have gaslighting, you have contempt, you have criticism, we are constantly being defensive in the relationship. These are signs that the relationship is having some significant challenges, that if these are not addressed appropriately, then there is almost a 96% chance that you will either continue to live in a turmoil relationship, or worst case scenario, you probably end up with divorce. The Gottmans actually said, and the Gottmans are people, the couple who have been doing research, or John Gottman doing research on relationship for over 4 decades. And they concluded
Maybe
that
5 now.
maybe 5 decades now, they concluded that when these things are in relationship, that there's a 96% chance they can predict divorce by seeing these things. And that's how we know relationship is toxic.
So let's talk about how this toxicity can affect the person, right? Because, you know, I don't know if we've met a lot of people, you know, who they've just lost themselves, their identity, and their sense of their perception about themselves. everything was lost in all the put downs, all the criticisms, and everything that they've gotten, that they start to second guess who they are.
Yeah.
That low self esteem has dropped tremendously. They don't believe in themselves anymore or their capabilities, and that is sometimes why we can get trapped or feel trapped in some relationships, because we get trampled down on so much that we feel inadequate without that person or without each other.
It's like the same power that we talk about oftentimes
Yeah.
in a positive light, which is the brain's ability to change.
Yeah.
No, when you in positive experience,
Mhm.
you can have the neuroplasticity, the neurogenesis, and for those who've listened to us more than once, we talk about these four genesis that the brain can go through.
Mhm.
The same thing happened for the negative
Mhm.
in relationship. So if someone is speaking down to you,
Yeah.
your brain start and you sort of believe that, your brain sort of change for that. Your personality, who you are at the core, starts to change.
Mhm.
If they say you're good
So
enough
structurally, your brain start to
to
create,
change.
change.
Because you believe,
Yeah.
and once you sort of believe certain things, am I really not good
Yeah.
enough? And you sort of second guess yourself. Your brain sort of fire, and through that experience,
Mhm.
you actually start to allow certain
Yeah.
genes
That becomes
to
your
express,
reality. Yeah.
and that becomes a reality of your life.
Yeah.
And pathways are created, so you sort of function. Doubt yourself,
Yeah.
lack of self-confidence.
Mhm.
You think you're not worthy, you're not good enough.
Yeah.
And maybe you came from an environment where you're confident and powerful and energetic and do things, but the relationship, because of the toxicity in the relationship, it has worn one person
Yeah.
down, or sometimes both parties in the relationship are worn down
Yeah.
to lose themselves in that relationship, and the
Yeah.
brain literally change. And that's why we need I want to say, transformation
Yes.
in the relationship. And that transformation brings healing and change.
Yeah.
And that's why when we talk about treating couples, we talk about developmentally. How do we treat fundamentally developmental things in the relationship? But also, how do we change it from a neurobiological perspective?
Mhm. So we go deep down. We go to the root. Our approach to supporting individuals is, how can I, not just a behavior modification change, but we go to the, how can we help to rewire or help you to create new pathways, ones that are positive, that helps you to thrive and live a positive lifestyle. And so for those who are just joining us for the first time, we're talking about, how do you know that you are in a toxic relationship, or how do you know that a relationship is toxic? We want to hear from you. Comment below and let us hear from you. And so we talked about some dynamics that would happen in a relationship when it's toxic. One of the things we mentioned, the impact of toxicity in a relationship, is self-esteem. Feeling like you're down there, feeling really low about yourself. The other two are mental. We can develop mental health related issues from this, and also even physical health issues from this, because of the amount of stress that we have. I've heard individuals say, oh my gosh, I'm happy when my spouse is not home, where everything is light and I can hum, I can go around, and then once they're home, that's it, everything shuts down. I feel very stressed and very stressed out, and I'm just so unhappy when they come home. That can impact us mentally. We can literally develop anxiety from this, just because remember, our intimate relationship has a deep meaning, and has a really valuable mark on our life, right? That's the person we're sharing so much with, we're sharing our life with. And so when that individual or the relationship is toxic, it starts to affect us emotionally and mentally. We start to develop anxiety, become depressed over it. And we know with the symptoms of anxiety, we're always worried, always on edge, as if something is going to be happening. And I don't even want to get into this as it relates to if the children are seeing it, we'll talk about that another day. But
The anxiety, though, Sandy,
yeah,
there's people I meet oftentimes who are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder because of the relationship. It's toxic, and they're
yes,
having
yeah,
nightmares, they're having flashbacks, they're very hyper vigilant around their
yeah,
partner. And this doesn't necessarily mean physical
physical abuse
abuse.
or
It's the emotional abuse is
emotional.
so intense that their partners who can't sleep because they're having nightmares about the relationship, they're having flashback about things that was said to them,
Yeah,
and they're either in the relationship still, and that's why they start to walk on eggshell, and the partner comes home and the entire home environment
just
changes.
change.
They
Yes,
and when you look at the physiology or the external view
yeah.
of those people, you can see there's a literal change
Mhm.
in the way how they're responding in the
Yeah.
environment. And again, those are signs of that we need to do something
Yeah.
in those
So
relationships.
those are signs, guys.
Yes.
You know, we're talking, we could go deeper into this and spend a long time talking about it, but we wanted to give you just an idea of the fact that toxic relationship does exist.
Yes.
I mean, we're just like loading it up. But not only that, we also want to let you know that it is possible to heal from
Yes.
toxicity in your relationship. It is possible to have a relationship and be happy in it. It's a thing. It is possible to have a husband who is a wonderful husband who takes care of you. It is possible to have a wife that is respectful to you and honors you. And both of your, it is possible, but it
Yes.
takes intentionality. Both people have to come together to say, you know what? It's time we stop doing whatever is going on here right now. And we just got to choose our heart. It's hard to live in the toxicity, and it's also hard to work on the relationship for it to be a healthy. Choose your heart, but at the end of the day, where do you want to be? Where do you want to be in your life? What do you want to spend the rest of your relationship, the rest of your life, doing? Living in toxicity, or knowing that you can spend the rest of those years together nurturing each other and restoring each other. We're speaking this way because we have literally witnessed many, many couples who have said, you know what, we're done because of this toxic years of toxicity going on. And after going through the work with them, we realize we see the love oozing.
Yeah.
And just the newfound fondness that they have for each other and the happiness that they're feeling. That's why we are talking like this.
And you just use a word there, fondness.
Yeah.
It's when you talk about the contempt in relationship, actually a part of that fondness is being appreciated of your partner and showing appreciation. I know sometimes the relationship is so hard and it's so challenging, but when we sort of show appreciation for each other and respect for each other, that is the antidote for working with contempt, because contempt is I'm better than you and I speak over you. But it's time to show some appreciation for the other person and uplift the other person. And when you start to do that, you'll recognize that there are changes start to happen in the body. And when it comes to defensiveness, we got to learn how to express our feelings, because the reason we are oftentimes defensive is that we're feeling something deep within ourselves. There's some resentment, there's some unforgiveness, there's some anger, some pain inside of us. So when the other
you feel like you need to survive a situation.
I survive a situation. And when you feel that, what happened, the other person even said something to you that's innocent, but you take it as being defensive because you're already in that defense mode. And so we got to learn how to talk about what we feel. Now, sometimes I see couples and I'll say to them, and they look at me weird. I'm saying, you're not fighting over the facts. And I look at them and say, you're not fighting over, because one will say, this is what happened, this is how it has been. I'm saying, you're not really fighting over the facts. You're fighting about how you feel about the other person subjective facts that they're presented. And there's some feelings going on there, and that's what brings the fight. And if the feelings are driving us, and we're at the mercy of the feelings, and we're not regulating them and looking at them and looking to change them.
Yeah.
And when I say change them, is analyzing the emotion that is between you and your spouse and learn to express those emotions and regulate them. Then we will always be contemptuous.
Yeah.
We criticize, because criticism is another way to say, I'm going to attack you. So we can complain, we don't criticize. I can complain about something, but let's not criticize. Let's take out, and criticism is name calling. When you name call somebody, that's criticism, and you're criticizing them for something that they have done or haven't done. So there is hope, as I like what you said there. There is hope to
Yeah.
change a relationship. Just like how I mentioned earlier, that if you're in a toxic relationship and you're hearing someone speak in a certain way to you, the
Yeah.
brain starts to change. In a similar way, when we do the first thing, Sana mentioned it earlier, when we start to become aware,
Yeah.
bringing a level of awareness to what's going on both parties said, you know what, enough
Is enough.
is enough.
It's enough.
And at that point,
Yeah.
that's the change.
Yeah.
When both parties
Yeah.
says enough is enough, that's the pivot of change. That's when things can turn. And once we make the decision to turn,
Yeah.
that's where transformation, literally brain transformation,
Yeah.
takes place. And when we start to do that, the emotions start to gel and we can live happy and fulfilled life.
Yeah.
I've seen so many couples over the years.
Yeah.
As I Sana mentioned, came in and they're like, if this doesn't work, I'm done.
Yeah.
And 3 months, 2 months, they go through working with us, and you see the smile coming back, and you see them working through different things.
Moving
So
a
the
little bit closer.
closer. It's a powerful
Yes,
experience. If
it's
you're
just
watching,
amazing.
if you're watching and your relationship is in turmoil
Yeah.
and you're living a
It
toxic
doesn't have to
relationship,
continue that
doesn't
way.
have to continue
It does
that way.
not. Do yourself a favor and talk to your spouse, or connect with someone. Like, we're here. Talk to us and say, okay, this been going on, and I want to know how I can start the process of healing our relationship. That's what we're here for. And so we implore you to reach out to us, and maybe you could show your spouse this video to say, hey, this is us, this is what we've been going through for so long, and do we want to continue this way? Do we want to spend the rest of our years together living this way? Mind you, we haven't even started to talk about what the impact this has on child development. We're not even talking about that today. We're talking about you and the possibility to actually have a contented relationship. Now, we're not selling glitter, because marriage is intentionality and hard work. But at the same time, you can either see it as stress or you see it as an adventure. For me and my husband, we have learned through our time together. And guys, I was married young. I was married at age 22. Okay? So,
Guys, she dropped me at age 22.
I did not. Well, anyways, and that is something that I learned earlier on, that you have to be intentional about your marriage. Because can you imagine from age 22 living in a toxic relationship for the rest of my life? I would get sick, right? Like it wouldn't be easy. And we don't have to. The same person you fell in love with is the same person that they can start going back to that way, or maybe better, because they would have grown.
There's
They
way
would
to make
have-
it better.
Yes.
Relationships
Gets
are
better
growth.
with time.
Yeah.
I heard someone say marriage is like wine, or marriage is like tea bag. The longer it stays, is the stronger it gets, or better. Anyways.
Yeah.
So
As you grow in your relationship, it can get better.
Yeah.
Don't listen to the fake news.
yes,
That
we're gonna
says
talk
that.
about some myths one
Some
day
myth,
that
yeah.
we're told as it relates to marriage, and so we just accept those lies and live that way. No, God doesn't want us to live that. God desires for us to be happy, and why would He create a union for you to be miserable for the rest of your life? And what impact is that going to have on your relationship with God? Because the union that a man has between himself and his wife is the same model God used for our relationship with Him, right? So why would God want us to live in turmoil all our years? So we're just encouraging you that there is hope. Don't give up on your marriage. Do the work. Do the work. Do what it takes to do the work. Okay? Get the help. And on that note, we want to inform you that we actually have opened up our triple R marriage transformation program where we're taking in is it
New
15?
couples.
Yeah, we have a certain amount that we're taking in, and we just want 90 days with you. Just spend 90 days with us, guys.
So this is 3 months, 90 days. You're in a program. We have access to both of us, and it will take you through the journey of transforming.
Yeah.
If you make the commitment, the journey of transforming your marriage, so you can live in a marriage that you're happy and you're connected and you're contented and you live in unity and unison as you
Yeah.
work through relationship. So
Yeah.
we're opening that program now. We're only accepting 15 couples in the
Mhm.
program. And every 90 days, we sort of open it up for 15 couples.
Yeah.
So if you are listening to this, you're hearing this, and you know a couple, or you yourself, and you're like, hey, I think I should check that out.
Give us a call.
Give us a
Or
call, DM
just
us,
DM us.
and
Let
we'll
us
connect
know.
with you, because this program was designed with you in mind.
Yes,
It's
this
all the
is.
years that we've done our
Yeah.
work is designed with you in mind to help couples to transform their relationship.
Yeah. So pretty much we've gathered all the best strategies and approaches that we've used over the years working with our clients and what have worked with them. We have compiled all of that, and we have decided to coach you, to be there with you in your journey as you and your spouse learn, know each other again, become friends again, learn how to regulate each other, how to support each other when you're flooded, how to start a conversation without it turning into a fight, how to argue about something and yes, have your differences, but it not turn into days of malice and walking on eggshells and name calling and contemptuousness. We got you covered as it relates to that. You don't have to continue living that life. It doesn't have to be. And so on Sunday, on Sunday, we want to give you a sneak peek. It's just a sneak peek of what our program is going to be like. So Sunday we have a free webinar. That's July 11th at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. All you got to do is register and you're in. Join us on Zoom. That way you can join us for our Q&A session after. It will be live in our Empowering Christian Families Facebook group. But if you want the experience of having a question and answer session with both of us, you and your husband or you and your wife, we implore you to register and you'll be given that Zoom link and you could connect with us on Sunday. So we're inviting you to our free webinar. It's entitled Stop Hurting with Your Words, 7 Benefits of Empathetic Communication. And you're going to be learning some really amazing nuggets on how to start. Maybe you really need to have this webinar so you can know how to talk to your spouse about working on your relationship.
So you come into this webinar, you'll be leaving with tools and strategies on how to start the hard conversation. You learn this a basic formula, and if you implement this formula, you can have almost immediate changes in your marriage. Not miracle changes, but immediate changes, because we don't work miracles here.
No, only Jesus.
Only Jesus worked miracles.
But we're just His vessel.
Yes, and we teach you strategies that have proven to work. And this webinar, it's a short webinar, but you will learn something that you can put into practice immediately from there. So looking forward to seeing you. Register for it. DM us, connect with us. If you have any trouble, just let us know, and we will make sure that you're at this webinar.
Yes, so the link will be placed right below this video in the comment section. You could go ahead and sign up right away. So thank you guys for your time. It was amazing speaking with you, and we hope to talk to you very soon. Take care. Bye.